guys. Today we're going to be solving equations using addition and subtraction. So there's a few important key points that we need to talk about first. The first one is when solving an equation, you must isolate the variable. Isolate means to keep the variable all by itself. To isolate the variable, well, literally means that you need to get the variable all by itself so it's alone on one side of the equation. To isolate the variable, first you want to move numbers to the other side of the equation by using an inverse operation. Inverse means opposite. The inverse operation of addition is subtraction. The inverse operation of subtraction is, you guessed it, addition. When solving for a variable, it is important to show all your work. Once you find the value of the variable, you're going to check to make sure that your answer is in fact a solution. You want to make sure it actually makes sense. The addition property of equality states that when you add the same number to each side of an equation, the two sides remain equal. Very similarly, the subtraction property of equality states that when you subtract the same number from each side of an equation, the two sides will remain equal. So if we add the same thing to both sides, it's still equal, and if we subtract the same thing from both sides, it's still equal. So let's try a couple of examples, and we'll show you what we mean. So let's take a look at our first example, and we have x plus 4 is equal to 12. That literally means that some number plus 4 is going to give me 12. I'm sure you're thinking in your heads, well, I know what I can add to 4 to get 12, but we need to show the steps so when we see more complicated problems, it makes sense. So, we're adding 4. We want to do the inverse of that. The inverse of adding 4 would be subtracting 4. Before I do that, though, I should really split my equation into two parts. So I find the equal sign, and I'm going to draw a line straight down the middle. That's separating my left and my right of my equation. So now I am going to subtract 4 from both sides, the left and the right. When I subtract 4 on the left-hand side, adding 4 and subtracting 4 gives me 0. So I have x over here, because x plus 0 is simply x. On the right, 12 minus 4, hopefully you know, is 8. So my answer is x is equal to 8. We're going to check just to make sure we have it correct. So in order to check, we're going to rewrite the original equation. X plus 4 is equal to 12. This is very similar to when we have the direction evaluate, where we're given a value and we need to plug it in or replace x with that value to figure out if the left is equal to the right. So we are going to replace x with the 8 that we think it is. So we have 8 plus 4, and the question is, does that equal 12? Well, sure enough, 8 plus 4 is 12, and 12 is equal to 12, so we are in good shape. 8 is our answer. Let's try another example. We'll just move that up so you're still working. All right, so we have x minus 5 is equal to 25. And again, let's separate it, find the equal sign, and draw a line straight down. X minus 5, so that's subtraction. The inverse of subtraction is addition. So instead of minus 5, we want plus 5. And whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other. Now we want to see what happens. So on the left, I have x minus 5, and then I'm adding 5. Minus 5 plus 5, that's 0. So I'm left with x. On the right, 25 plus 5 is 30. So we're assuming that x is going to equal 30. But we need to check our answer. Again, we start with the original equation. X minus 5 is equal to 25. And again, we're going to substitute. So we'll replace x with the 30 that we think it's equal to. 30 minus 5, hopefully that gives us 25. And sure enough, 30 minus 5 is 25, and 25, sure enough, is equal to itself. Now it's time to try the practice problems.